All right, this song, this music is used to get you pumped up right before tip-off, right before kickoff. Are you pumped about Navy?
I actually am.
Does this song get you jacked up to play Navy?
Yeah, you want me to pull out my kickoff keys right now?
Yeah.
To beat the midshipmen?
Well, listen, I understand that I'm going to be in a different place than a lot of you on this. And I'm seeing some of that from the poll results to the Twitter poll that I put out earlier today, which is just simply, does Navy get you excited as a bowl game opponent? 47% say a little bit, 25% say absolutely, 28% say nope. I gotta be honest with you all, I am in the nope category here on this one. Call me Leslie. Because Navy is not getting me very excited. I was asked yesterday about Navy versus Cincinnati. I had said on the show, give me Cincinnati, who is the other possible AAC opponent here in this bowl game, simply because it feels like a more winnable game to me, playing Cincinnati as opposed to Navy. And I stand by that. So this is not a disrespect thing to the midshipmen at all. In fact, it's the opposite. Because they are what I think to be a very solid team is a big part of why it's not doing much for me as a bowl game opponent. Because it is pretty simple to me. In a bowl game, whereas I've already told you, it's just not a very meaningful game. It's not a very meaningful situation in college football because it's not really springboarding teams. K-State won their last two bowl games they played in and had disappointing seasons the following year. Texas beat Georgia last year, disappointing year this year. It's not consistently springboarding teams to win these games, but what it does do is just pad your stats or give you a chance to play a school like what K-State could have had in Notre Dame that would otherwise never play you. So to me, there's two reasons to get excited about a bowl opponent. One, a team that you can just easily beat so that your season looks better. You can say, hey, it was a 9-win season as opposed to, hey, it was an 8-win season. Or you want somebody that is a very fun, big-name brand opponent, especially if you're a team like K-State. And Navy, to me, fits into neither one of those two categories. Is there a novelty to it? Yes, I think there's a novelty to it, but I don't think that's because it's some big-name opponent. I think it's just a different opponent, and it is somebody that K-State hasn't played before. But it's also a team that can definitely beat you. Now, Navy's resume is not the most impressive thing in the world. They did beat SMU this year, which was a top 25 win. They had Memphis down 20-7 before blowing it and losing, and they got blasted by Notre Dame 52-20. I still have a lot of respect for them, and they probably will beat Army and be a top 25 team heading into that game. They're a team that can beat you, and they're a team where you're not going to get any real satisfaction by beating them that you wouldn't be able to gain outside of a bowl game scenario. I mean, think about the other two landing spots for K-State were going to be either to play USC or Notre Dame. Camping World would have been Notre Dame, and K-State, for a time, seemed to be lined up in the Alamo with USC before Utah fell. That's the kind of thing that I'm talking about. Taking on one of those brands and a team that likely is never going to schedule you or play you. That goes back to Bill Snyder 1.0 in the 90s. None of those schools wanted to sign up and play K-State. It was a huge deal when, actually, USC did the home and home in 01 and 02. But that's an extreme rarity. So you can get that opportunity in a bowl game sometimes. Navy doesn't fall into any of those categories. Cincinnati feels slightly more winnable to me because, one, I look at the S&P Plus at Football Outsiders and their rankings, and Cincinnati is 34 and Navy is 28. Also, Cincinnati just is coming off the disappointment of not getting to the Cotton Bowl and not winning their conference championship over Memphis.
Lost two straight to Memphis.
They did. They lost back-to-back games to Memphis to end the year. So they don't seem to be trending in the right direction. And I think Navy will appreciate the opportunity to play a Power 5 team more. Navy's gone to a bunch of bowl games almost every single year for the last decade and a half, but they're rarely playing Power 5 teams. So I think they will appreciate that opportunity more, and there's less chance to catch them slipping, quote-unquote, right? So that's why I'm not enthused about it. I'm really not. And honestly, I appreciate how honest Curry Sexton is, who joined us earlier on the show, and said the same thing, that he being a former player, as a player, would not really get very excited to play this game against Navy. There's also the element of the Liberty Bowl not being as great of an experience as some of the other bowls that's mixed in there too. But I'm not really here to run down the Liberty Bowl because that just kind of is what it is. It being in its locale and with the stadium that it has, it's not going to have as much to offer as some of the other bowl games. But I do want to focus on the fact that Navy is not a team that's going to get very many, I don't think, players on this team really all that excited because I think that'll hurt your chances to win the game. I know that the team wasn't expecting to be going to the Liberty Bowl. I know that the team was expecting something different. So there's an element of having to get over that disappointment if you are K-State. And I do believe, we'll see what the players say when we do get a chance to talk to them, which I would imagine will be next week. And I'm sure they will say the right things, but I think behind closed doors, this is not a game that's going to get them that excited. How excited would you be? Like, even if you're on the practice squad here, and you have to be the ones to emulate Navy, like down to the practice squad, like, are you excited about running the triple option in practice for the next month? You excited about doing that and having to take that many hits if you're going to be the guy that's running the triple option in practice? You got to go up against the number one defense and just get hit over and over again by K-State's linebackers? Nobody wants to do that, man. I mean, I get it that I understand why the service academies use the triple option and how it can help be something that increases your chances of success, but there's a reason that not many schools at all outside of the service academies use it. I mean, it's not a fun system. It's not one that's easy to recruit to because kids don't want to go play the triple option. Like, let's be honest with ourselves. If you think it's cool that K-State's playing the Naval Academy and all, like, I'm not somebody that is involved in the military and I don't really have much in the way of family that's that involved in it. So it's just never been something that I've been really immersed in. I can understand that if you are somebody like that this game will have more appeal to you. I just don't think that appeal is going to stretch actually to the team. And it doesn't make up for the fact that I think it becomes a more losable game because of all these factors. So that's where I'm at on this.